Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. Going to have a look at weather next week to 10 days in today's video. And then we'll have a look at the month ahead with CFS V2, see what that's showing. And then at the end of the video, I'll probably do something I shouldn't be doing. I'll show you the midday run from yesterday of CFS in terms of Christmas. We're not doing a Christmas update today. The next one will be tomorrow, but it's a bit of a Easterly extravaganza that showed up overnight with the CFS midday run yesterday. So I thought I'd just include it in today's video as we're not doing a Christmas update today. Well, before I get on with that, just say about the ads. There's links to articles on all of the pages. Have a browse through widgets and click through links. If there's any articles that are interesting, you're going to be helping us to pay for the website. Thanks very much for doing that. The Christmas shop is open, so if you've got a Christmas shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, just click through the Amazon banners in the Christmas shop. First you have to click green button that says Christmas shop, and then takes you to our Christmas page, and from there click the Amazon banners. You go to Amazon and do your Christmas shopping as normal, because you've gone from gas office to Amazon. We get a revenue fee on things that you're buying. As simple as that. You don't need to do anything differently other than click through the banners. And thanks very much to everybody for doing that. And a huge success again this year. You've still got plenty of time to get Christmas presents out to you. It is getting on now, of course. It's going to be the 1st of December on Thursday, which is the day we're going to be releasing the winter forecast as well, by the way. So it's getting on, but you've still got time, plenty of time to do your Christmas shopping and get those presents out to you. Amazon are very, very fast with their posting, I think. So plenty of time, but don't leave it too much longer. Right, let's get on with the update then. We're going to start off with the GFS temperature and precipitation ensemble. So next 2 weeks, dealing with temperatures first of all. So red line here is the 30-year temperature average. We're above average at the moment, but you wouldn't know because it was really cold last night down in the south, with temperatures going down to -7 in some of the more prone frost hollows, and quite widely down to -3, -4, -5 last night. So it's really cold. Right, it just goes to show you at this time of year, these are upper air temperatures. And at this time of year, within an area of high pressure, the upper air temperatures are not the be-all and end-all. The key factor is whether the high is clear or not. At the moment, we have got a nice clear high, which means the heat radiates out into space very, very quickly, and you get frost. You can also get fog as well, of course. Now, we go through to the weekend and into the start of next week. Looks like we get a little bit of a colder drop there in terms of the temperatures, so the frost return over the weekend. Beyond that, though, into next week, the temperatures are lifting up. Now, initially, I think we'll still have a lot of frost and frosty conditions, quite cold conditions, even with this lift up in the upper air temperatures. The GFS is wanting to turn the winds into the south, though, later on next week, which might drag up some slightly milder air as we head towards the second week of December. Precipitation spikes are returning a little bit as well for the second week of the month. So the coming week, through the first week of December, looks dry and cold, as I explained yesterday, through the first week of December. Very gradually then, it looks like the precipitation spikes are returning as we go through the second week of December. Now, this isn't a desperately wet spell, certainly nothing like the rain we had in December last year, but it probably is a bit indicative of it just turning a bit milder, a little bit more unsettled through this second week of the month, running up towards middle part of December. It was expected, I think, that we would get a milder interlude sometime through the early part of the month, probably the second week, and then probably go colder maybe in the second half of the month. So that idea is still perhaps there, not the cold side of it, because this only runs up to the 15th of December, which is just here. But the idea that it turns a little bit milder, a little bit more unsettled through the second week of December, possibly. Although the model might be too progressive in shifting the high pressure to the east. I'll show you what's going on with that in a moment. Temperature anomalies for next week coming out colder than average, solidly colder than average week, with quite a lot of frost coming up, particularly so for the south, interestingly, a little bit less so for the north, but even there it is a bit colder than average. Precipitation anomalies, a very dry week coming up, so dry and cold through the first week of December. I think we've got that largely set in place. So this is how the models are dealing with developments for weekend through to next week. We'll start with GFS. So for Saturday, the 3rd of December, we've got high pressure here sitting over the country. We've been quite cold air, so I expect return of frost. Frost might go away a little bit later this week. So Wednesday night, Thursday night, the frost might be rather more patchier with more cloud across the country. And then Friday night and into the nights over weekend, I think the frost tends to come back. Sunday, we've got the high pressure centred somewhere over the Low Countries or Germany, bringing in a cold southeasterly flow off the continent. So again, expect quite a lot of frosting with that. And that continues into the start of next week as well. Now, by the time you get through to Tuesday, it looks like the winds are beginning just turn round in the south a little bit. This kink in the isobars just here is some sort of trough starting to move up. That's probably bringing patchy rain, and behind that the flow is probably starting to come up from the Atlantic a little bit more, so a little bit milder, especially in the west next Tuesday. And then that continues through the second half next week. This is Wednesday, 7th of December, when that high pressure is starting to drift over towards Eastern Europe then, and we're beginning to pull up definitely milder air from the southwest, and we carry on with that idea into the second half of next week. Actually, by day 10, which is Friday, 9th of December, it looks like we are in quite an Atlantic flow there. We've got low pressure to the west. We've got this ridge around Spain going towards France, and that really is bringing Atlantic conditions back in. Now, what I would just say with that, it is a very rapid progression eastwards for this high pressure. So that's where it is on Monday, and that's where it is by the time we go through to Friday. In fact, it's actually gone, that high pressure. It's not there anymore in the east of Europe, and heights have risen across Spain and Portugal. I'm a little bit dubious that the high pressure would move off to the east that quickly and dissipate like that. So it might be that the model is trying to re-establish the westerly winds too quickly. Very often, when you're under high pressure and blocked conditions, especially at this time of year, the models will try to break down the high, they'll try to get rid of it, and sort of revert to a default pattern, if you like. Our general mean wind to flow is always west to southwesterly off the Atlantic, and very often it does seem to me as though the models try to get back to that, and very often they do it too quickly. Nevertheless, it is an option, and there always was expected to be a milder, more unsettled spell at some point in the first half of December, I think. If we have a look at the E70UF, now this isn't as quick moving the high pressure eastward, so it's firmly over country on Saturday. It's still over country on Sunday, and even on Monday that high pressure is very, very close to us. The centre is over Germany and the Low Countries, but the ridge still extending through, so that still looks cold to the start of next week. And unlike GFS, it's not moving that high pressure over towards Eastern Europe through the first part of next week. So by Wednesday, 7th of December, that high pressure is still there over the UK, or from the UK, and stretching towards Germany. So that will keep cold conditions, definitely frosty conditions, going into the middle of next week. The milder Atlantic air that the GFS is trying to establish at this point, ECM is having that to the north and the west of the UK, and we're still under that cold ridge. And even up to day 10, which is Friday, 9th of December, that ridge is really going nowhere fast. The milder air is trying to get in towards Ireland and Western Scotland, but essentially we're still under that high pressure. Still looks pretty frosty, but still dry conditions up to day 10 to me. That's more like what I'd expect things to go like next week. Perhaps it's a bit slow, this one, in taking the high pressure to the east of Europe. We might get a blend between the two models. So Monday, Tuesday next week, quite cold. Wednesday, maybe a little bit of showery rain in the west. Then Thursday, Friday next week is when the milder air begins to re-establish. We'll wait and see anyway how that one plays out. Let's have a look at the CFS V2 for the next month. So this is taking us to Christmas. Have a look at the 500 millibar high denominators broken down into weekly periods. The first week period takes us from the 29th through to the 5th of December. So the coming week shows high pressure as an anomaly anyway, centred over the top of the country. That looks very dry and cold and frosty with the flow going something a bit like that. So it looks really cold for Eastern Europe with a lot of snow going through there. For us, it's just dry, cold, a lot of frost, maybe freezing fog as well. And no real change with that as we're going through into week 2, either 6th to the 12th of December. That ridge is going nowhere fast. Low pressure's out to west again. The flow is going something like that. This might be dragging up some slightly less cold air from the southwest, but essentially this high pressure is still centred over the country, so I would have thought that's still pretty cold and frosty from the 6th to the 12th of December. Now this looks a bit milder. For the 13th to the 19th of December, we find that the ridge centres more to the south of us with low pressure to the north. So this is more of a typical winter flow, if you like, with the jet stream coming through like that, and we're bringing in the air back off the Atlantic. So that's more like a typical winter setup. And then finally, week 4, which is the 20th to the 26th of December, this one looks colder again. The ridge is going out to the west-northwest of us, and I think we're bringing the jet stream, the flow through something like that. So it doesn't really show it that well, but I suspect there's a trough through here, and of course that brings the winds down from the north, much colder air pushing southwards as we run up to and reach, this is going up to Boxing Day, of course, reach Christmas. So CFS flirting with the idea that there might be colder weather for Christmas. And talking of Christmas, I did promise you that I'd show you the midday run of the 9 monthly CFS forecast, is what I've been using for the Christmas updates, of course. Not doing a Christmas update today, because later on I've got to do a blog post about the most recent update from the UK Met Office Contingency Planners Guidance. They've just updated their long-range forecast. It covers the full winter period. I'll be doing a written post about that on the blog this evening, so I'm not going to have time to do a Christmas update today. However, I thought I'd throw this in. So this was generated midday yesterday on the 28th of November, and just look what happens. So we start off on the 21st of December with high pressure over Scandinavia, ridging into the UK, and as we go up towards Christmas, it takes us to 21st, it takes us to Christmas Eve. There's the heights rising over Scandinavia, winds are turning into the east, these blue colours indicating a cold pool across central parts of Europe. And Christmas Day, there we are, we turn the winds into the east, we bring bitterly cold air from Europe, and I think there will be snow showers coming in with that easterly wind as well, and that continues into Boxing Day onto the 27th, a real easterly blast coming in by then. Very cold easterly winds, daytime temperatures will be below freezing all day, and there will be a lot of snow coming in from the east with that as well. And we go up towards the new year, still keeping it cold. It turns dry, the snow risk eases off, but for New Year that will be very, very frosty and cold and mostly dry, maintaining any snow that falls over Christmas. I shouldn't have included that because we're not doing the 14th Christmas update until tomorrow, but suffice to say, if I was doing the Christmas update today, that would have been a bit of a classic, so I thought I'd throw it in at the end of today's video just for a bit of fun. But going back to the next week to 10 days, so still lots of high pressure coming up for the rest of this week, into weekend, and to the start of next week. There'll be plenty of frost and cold weather with that. We go through into the middle part of next week, and we've got this confusion about whether we're reintroducing milder Atlantic winds. I think possibly we will do that by the second week of December. And I would suggest, though, that the GFS is probably a bit quick with it, bringing the milder air to us by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. I think it'll probably be a bit longer to get the milder air through, especially to the east. So that's what I was looking. Come back later on for the blog update, which will be discussing the latest update from UK Met Office Contingency Planners Guidance, and that covers the full winter period. That will be with you this evening. Right, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.